Hi, my name's Mel. So glad you could make it to this week's chat about Bologna, a place with three nicknames which we'll come to explanations of later. The three important questions about it: where is it? In Italy, of course, and it's on the high-speed rail link between Rome and Venice. Easy to get to from there. But similarly, also Florence and Milan are connected to Bologna on the high-speed rail network. So it makes it an ideal place to get to for a couple of days. It has its own airport close by to the city centre, and so it's a good weekend break. When did I go there? In March of 2025. Why did I go there? Well, precisely for the reason of soaking up all of the atmosphere that you find in Bologna. And we'll come also to one important fact that everyone thinks that they know about Bologna, but that's totally wrong. On with the video. Here's Bologna, right in the centre of northern Italy, just north of Florence. And the times that you see on the map are from the airport, Bologna Airport, to the city centres of Rome, 2.5 hours, Venice, 2 hours, Milan, 1.5 hours, and Florence, just 1.25 hours. So knock off 15 minutes from these times if you're travelling from Bologna itself. You can see it's very handy for a lot of places. Now, the reason why a lot of people come to Bologna is tied up in the first nickname, La Grossa, the fat one. And it's the food. So if you love Italian food, it's amazing and thought to be at its best here in Bologna. Whether you're looking for Parmigiano, mortadella, lasagna, tortellini in brodo, tagliatelle in ragu. Now, as delicious as all of this food is, it might leave you with the thought that the pasta, the red wine, the beans, the risotto need to be burned off, and in the centre of the town there are 2 medieval towers which you can climb. There used to be 120 of these towers, but there are just a few left now. The colour of the buildings is the origin of the second nickname, La Rossa, the red one. Close by is a very famous statue of Neptune, and if you look closely at his trident, you'll recognise a symbol of a supercar brand, Maserati, based nearby. It's a rather strange and a very unusual fountain, but beautiful nonetheless. Close by is the Piazza Maggiore, where you can see the unfinished facade of the Basilica di San Petronio. Now inside there's a controversial fresco because it shows a physical representation of the Prophet Muhammad, so there are armed guards and strict security to get in. The basilica also contains an example here of a terracotta series of statues depicting the lamentation over the death of Christ. But again, not far away in Santa Maria della Vita is the prime example of this art form, these unpainted here terracotta statues depicting the lamentation over the dead Christ. It's a 15th century series of sculptures by Niccolo dell'Arca. Back then, the church was part of a religious hospital complex, and it's thought that Niccolo dell'Arca may have studied the faces of the sick and suffering to have achieved such stunningly raw expressions of grief. Here in the highly decorated oratory, where they hold temporary exhibitions, there's another lament in terracotta, and this is The Death of the Virgin by Alfonso Lombardi. One of the great things about Bologna is the presence of porticos. There's about 24 miles or 39 kilometres of covered walkways, which mean whether it's chucking it down with rain or blazing hot, it's a good place to go for a walk. In particular, there's a walk up to the sanctuary of the Madonna of San Luca, which is about 2.3 miles, 3.9 kilometres, all the way up to the sanctuary and underneath 66 porticos. You can see some of them on the left of the shot now as we circle the sanctuary. And good weather or bad, it's a fantastic walk because of the porticos. And you can even get a little train down or up if you're feeling particularly lazy. And so to the last of the three nicknames, La Dotta, the learned one. What you're looking here is part of the University of Bologna, founded in the 11th century, thought to be the oldest university in the world. And this is an 18th century hall of dissection. So cadavers, dead bodies, would be placed on the marble slab, and students would be gathered in the bench seats around to observe and learn from the dissections involved. Talking of education, the last fact about Bologna that most people think is right but is wrong is spaghetti bolognese. There isn't such a thing. You can't find it anywhere in Bologna. They only ever serve bolognese sauce or ragu with tagliatelle. So I hope that's going to help you when you visit Bologna. And guys, you know the drill. If you can like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, it would really, really help a small channel like this one out a huge amount. So all that remains is for me to say thank you very much for listening and watching, and I'll see you in the next one.